that's the big question, right? And Dave and I were talking about this before we went on live with you guys. Again, we teased the topic of, a better big man versus a better smaller man. Right now, again, if we were to make the argument that Hadi Choopan is the most complete bodybuilder on the planet, Milos, what would Samson have? Again, you confirmed to us right now that the plan is to bring him in, nails hard. What would Samson have to bring it to in the judge's mind, put that debate in their head? Okay, we got the better big man, the better, shorter guy, I guess, if you want to call it that. What would be the ticket for Samson to dethrone Hadi Choopan?
Yeah, it's definitely structure and shape. But now let's talk about Hadi. I was saying this 220, 225, doesn't matter. Hadi looks big. Hadi looked big next to those guys, even 2020, 2021. 2022, look at him. Hadi looks big. He is wide, and then he has this crazy abs. I love that Hadi brings his six packs at all times. Front relaxed, shoulders are this wide. This is, even if Jay Cutler called him a little bit boxy, right? It's not exactly that shape here. There is a thickness, everything. From the back, he was not so dominant, okay? Side shots, I know that Samson can beat him there. Samson's, mark my words, is going to shock everybody with the new way he's doing a side triceps. Oh, my God. It's like, something you've never seen. So Samson has that potential. He's not going to have a Hadi conditioning. I cannot have a illusion of thinking he's going to match Hadi in conditioning, right? Mm. So come on, all of us right now, if he
doesn't need to.
Yeah. He doesn't need to. Yeah. Can he? Probably he can't, even if he tried to, right? Because Hadi has that genetically, like Dennis says. Dennis, you know that some guys are strided, not even trying.
Right.
And some, yeah,
I agree.
I have glutes right now.
Yeah. Dave, you were always like super thin skin, like Jesus Christ. But so Siddiq, to answer this question, he's just 6 foot, perfect in every possible way. Shape, check. Balance, check. The presentation, check. No weaknesses, check. They're gonna say, okay, back is no weakness. It's just not as spectacular as what's his name, Derek. I mean, Derek is gonna beat him in back shots. Okay, you already bag on that one. Okay,
but it's just 2 poses, right? So
yeah, 2 poses.
Milos, what you're saying essentially is that this is Samson's show to lose. So if he doesn't win, it's going to be because of something that went wrong.
Yeah, Dave, do you agree that if he was ripped,
I'm not disagreeing with you.
Yeah.
No, he came in like, yeah.
When I'm thinking about it, if Samson could have been first-time Olympia competitor winning if he was crazy.
Absolutely.
Last year.
Yeah, absolutely.
When you put this in perspective, in one of the shows afterwards, I was asking everybody, okay, how did Nick Walker's physique beat Samson's physique? I just wanted him to answer on conditioning, and conditioning was, that much difference. That okay, I can see that. If Samson's conditioning was that much better, that okay, this is not so much deciding factor, he would have won last year.
Yeah.
And that goes on me, right?
Possible.
Like I say, should we? You know how it is. You guys all just get him conditioned, dry, shit. But when you're first time on Olympia stage and your goal is to be top 10 and basically top 6, you need to bring your attributes. And he's a big guy, and he needed to be that.
Look, Milos, let's look at Cedric McMillan. He never really, when he would come down too low to try to get the conditioning, he didn't look good, And then when he was bigger, remember the year that it was Roden, Dennis Wolf won that show, and it was Cedric. Cedric was huge that year, if you remember. And a lot of people thought he was blowing everyone away. He just didn't have the conditioning that Dennis and Roden had, but he was huge. It actually was a better look for him because everything just rounded off on him. And, so it's every look, every year is different. You got to kind of go with the look that just happens to be best for your body. And, and sometimes it's hard to nail that look perfectly.
Exactly that. So, Dave, what about Andrew Jack? Compare him Texas last year, Texas this year.
Texas this year, yeah.
So what do you think he needs to bring? I know classic.
He has to keep putting more size on his legs. I think that's his only thing that's holding him back. His conditioning is great.
Yeah.
The last 2 shows, I feel like there's a deficit in his legs, that we don't see on Samson. And I think that if he can bring those legs in bigger and fuller with the same conditioning, then he's going to be dangerous. But I think he might be a year off or another year off still. I mean, he made a lot of improvements, I think, this last season. We'll see on the Olympia stage. He's such a genetic freak, and he started so late that he's still growing, this guy, while he's dieting for shows during the year. It's unbelievable, what he's doing.
No, yeah, go on.
How about another 2 guys that we didn't mention, Hunter Labrada and Krizo? Okay,
I think Krizo's the dark horse.
The dark, yeah,
for sure.
Krizo has a type of quality and conditioning that is hard to see nowadays. He had that cellophane skin, and actually, so far, I don't think he actually ever really nailed it on the stage. Last show he was pretty good, but again, you see him on Instagram, not just pictures, because everybody's going to say this is like possible.
Filtered, yeah.
I've seen some video. Look at that brachialis and tie-in shows. I mean, Jake Huntley was watching him pose in Gold Gym. And he was off of supplements. You remember when he was traveling and all that stuff?
Right.
You could see that fibrotic. Krizo, he poses okay, but if he really hires the posing coach and he knows how to nail it, you know what, we talk about it. And Dennis was perfect. Dennis would know every possible transition, sequence, what to do, what makes sense, and how to steal the pose before the pose. Krizo hits the pose, completely relax, let the stomach out, drop the shoulders, becomes narrow, then turns into the other pose. So his most muscular is crazy. His frontal biceps is crazy. His side chest is very good. Side chest is very good, right? So when you have so much mass, so much quality, so much density, and you still don't know how to show it,
that's the big issue. Yes.
That's the difference between amateur and professional, Milos.
Yes, and sometimes I think if you're already a professional bodybuilder, you compete at the Olympia stage. Why won't you put all the work in all the perspectives and work you have to do and just like Milos said before, hire a posing coach or this and that. So he was here last year in my house, in my Wolf's Den.
Oh, I didn't know.
And he posed a little bit.
Oh, wow.
This guy is so impressive. The skin is so thin. The muscle quality is so impressive. I never seen something like this before. But he has an issue, his glutes development and hamstrings, but I had that too because I will squat differently. So I will not squat leaning forward and using my butt. So I will squat only from my quads. So,
right.
And he needs to put more work there. And very important, his presentation. So everybody can train. So everybody is 100% in the gym, in this prep, this and that. His nutrition is on point. Everything is on point. Well, why not the presentation? Why not your posing? I don't know why. I mean, it's like if you can't even hit a pose differently, 3-4 different poses in front of your mirror, and you don't recognize where you look the best. Man, what kind of bodybuilder are you? A professional bodybuilder.
Dennis,
right?
Dennis.
I'm just asking you guys. I mean, what do you think on that? It's for me come on. If you cannot present your body you build with blood, sweat in the gym, so many hours, man. I mean, you're exhausted the last few weeks before the Olympia show, right? You don't sleep, this and that. You have your extra session on this muscle group, extra cardio session, this and that. But you cannot present it.
Dennis, how many bodybuilders you heard say it? I don't like to pose. They say it. I don't like to
everyone.
Pose. So Football players play football. Basketball play basketball. Bodybuilders pose on the stage.
Yeah.
You know, you're not going to lift the weight. You're not
Yes.
going to do nothing. You pose. You know, this is bread and butter. And like you said, 3-4 different variations. You have to own the pose.
Yeah.
Be the pose. I mean, that's what you were doing. You know, when you have a transition that is spectacular, and then boom, you become that pose, that twisting back. You or Arnold or Kevin
Well,
LeBron.
look, it's very simple. If you just watch a couple greats, like you know, I was working with you, Milos. You told me this. Then I watched some videos. I love Lily Brother. He's posing. Hey, absolutely impressive and crazy. So, and I will combine all of this and work it out in my way, like how I would love to present myself, and that's it. But people just like pro bodybuilders. I'm talking about pro bodybuilders, not amateurs. Pro bodybuilders still lazy on that. I don't understand why. I mean, this is just. It can be just good for you. I mean, you can place 2-3 places higher with the better presentation.
You know what the funny thing about the whole thing is that once you learn to do the poses and find out what poses
like
work
that.
best for your physique, it doesn't change for the whole career.
Yeah.
Yes.
Once you get it down once, it's easy. You just have to
Yes.
learn it once.
Yeah. And this is another thing. Okay, Dave. We scrutinize a little bit, but what I tell my guys, when you do the videotape for me, it's just for me 100 times before the show. I want you to do exactly what you're gonna do on stage.
Right.
And I mean, Regan would do this. He does this pose and then that pose, and say, Regan, that's not in order. That's not in order. How you're gonna do it?
I tell people the same thing. Yeah.
You have to do it exactly. So exactly how you're gonna turn from lat spread into the side chest. How you're gonna decide your chest?
Transitions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But everything counts. You know, like if at any moment I can snap a picture. Oh, look at that. So Michael Krizo, for example, like this, you can take a lot of snaps. That doesn't look good. Listen, the haters are gonna snap that exact photo. It's gonna be blasted all over the social media.
Right.
You know, so you don't give them that chance.
Yeah.
Dennis, let me go to you because again, you being a taller bodybuilder, obviously Andrew Jack, I think 6'2", 6'3", somewhere in that range, 6'4". Yeah, there you go. You know, keep in mind, you know, just add some perspective to this. Andrew Jack is still very new, you know, to the sport of bodybuilding. I mean, this just happens to be one of those genetic freaks. You know, when you bring him up, and for those who are not aware, they may just assume, all right, well, some new guy, some young guy. No. I believe he's in his young 40s, if I'm not mistaken. He's just a career athlete.
I think it's late 30s. Yeah.
Late 30s. Okay. Obviously picking up the sport at a later age. I believe he was a former rugby player, I think. I mean, he's played other sports at very high levels. He's just a natural athlete. You've seen a progression of Andrew Jack. He burst onto the scene last year at the Texas Pro. Last year at the Olympia, did not come in on. Now, I believe he had he claims he had some sort of an illness that just prevented for him to, you know, be at his best. Then again, you see him at the Texas Pro just a few months ago. You see him at the Arnold Classic. What are you seeing in terms of progression? And what would you like to see this Olympia going forward out of Andrew Jack?
Oh, Andrew, his progress was very impressive. And because he is not as long as involved in bodybuilding, like the other guys, you know, he's in late 30s, but probably competing 5 years or so. This is actually good because at that age he still grows. He still improves. The muscle maturity is improving every year or every time he's competing. So he still has some weaknesses, but it's normal. I mean, he's so tall. He looks sometimes a little bit. I would say skinny, but a little bit, thinner than he can, right? So he can put more mass on specific body parts. So like from the side, he needs to look more wider and fuller. You know, this is the poses he's losing, and also I think he should work on his posing as well. If you would gonna change his leg position from for double bicep or something like this, I think he will create a completely different picture. He's already kind of similar, his aesthetics, all of that to Flex Wheeler, but it's also leaking a little bit imposing in his presentation. But what impresses me is his sharp muscle quality. Like look like that. I mean, from the front, abs and all that is in all the time. So that's a good control. From the back, of course, he needs a little bit more muscle on the back. But like I said, couple improvements are always needed. Every time you are prepared for the show. But presentation is really good, but some poses he needs to kind of maybe change a little bit. Like I said before, hit him like 4, 5 different in different versions, and then you see maybe this looks better. Maybe this is a lot better, right? So I think he needs to work on that a little bit. But in overall, he needs to keep bringing that condition and just keep growing.
And Milos, you were there at the Arnold Classic. Obviously, that 3-man battle between Andrew, the eventual champion Samson Dauda, and Nick Walker. You see the amount of rotations that were put through the mandatories, and I mean, obviously, very strong as progressions, go. I mean, even at the Texas Pro, you saw that one-on-one battle between him and Hunter Labrada, and just they could have put him through another 15 rotations. He wasn't even going to, bat a single sweat. What impresses you most about where Andrew Jack is now in this overall progression, seemingly still very much in the infancy of his bodybuilding career?
Yes. I mean, he is Flex Wheeler lookalike, as Dennis said. And we all consider Flex being probably ideal physique in the history of the sport. So this is how good he is. He's even wider than Flex, so the structure is there. Once he fills up that frame, that stunning chest definition, abdominal depth, separation on the quads, even though the quads can be bigger. I mean, he has everything. Just standing there, he is a wow factor. Since his pro debut, I was with Chris Cormier and Dennis James. We were watching live, and it was like there was no contest. I mean, he was in league on his own. But now he comes on a stage with Nick Walker and Samson at the Arnold Classic. And listen, it was not a cakewalk, right? It was, some people see one guy winning, and it depends what you favor. At Olympia, there is right now 7 guys that can actually win the show, and it can go either way. We can, there are many things. It's so close. Now, as you said, they compared them. They compared him in Texas, and he did not drop the sweat. He looked perfect, and Labrada was losing. Same thing, Sean Roden and Phil Heath. The same thing. So you better be prepared for that, right? You better be conditioned. And guys, they're not conditioning themselves right now. They're going to be in trouble. Yeah. I see actually that Andrew Jack is going to be a formidable guy, and God knows, maybe they're going to stand him right next to Samson because they look alike.
That's what I think. I got a funny what if Paul Dillette at the height of his career stood next to Andrew Jack and Samson Dauda on stage? Who wins?
Oh my God.
Front relax. I mean, goddamn.
You competed against Dillette. You would know.
Yeah. But Paul Dillette was that freaky. I mean, I've seen him next to Dorian, making Dorian look small. And, shit. So, Paul Dillette is absolute freak.
We're going into Paul just once at the FIBO. I mean, that guy was like 2 heads taller than I was. And, man, so impressive, big, it was like, damn.
Did you ever see him train?
No.
Light. He trains light, right?
Light. I mean, it was.
I heard it. Yes, awesome. I heard it, but never seen him.
But listen, I said this. It was so funny. European Grand Prix Tour. I was with him and Sonny Schmidt. in Bert Beiderberg's gym. We stayed inside for 7 days. 7 days. Sonny and I trained twice a day, doing a cardio, all this shit. He didn't train once, not once. And stepped on the stage just as good as a week before. Like, this guy,
Lee Priest said that he used to live with Paul Dillette, and they would have they would put these like cakes, these like tasty cake. I don't know, what are these, like they would buy this junk food at the supermarket, and they'd be like, all right, Lee would be like, you get one, I get one, Paul, and Lee wouldn't eat his, and Paul would eat his, and he said they go to the gym. Paul would look better than he did. He said, and he goes, and then Paul would eat Lee's cake, because he'd be like, you didn't eat your cake yet, and Paul would be like, oh, okay, and he just would get freakier looking. He goes, he'd never seen genetics like that.
That's how it is. But hey, can we mention a couple more guys? Of course, first, I even feel guilty not mentioning Regan, because like Regan is not in a conversation at all. Regan is training super hard, and he wants to bring that conditioning that he didn't really bring yet. We know that he has a crazy aesthetics, the structure, beautiful. At the Reno show, I think that if he would bring that kind of conditioning, he would be competitive. He would be a top 10 contender, and then, God knows. So we are going for this kind of conditioning with an extra few pounds. So don't count out Regan. Speaking of that, then Nathan Diasha he's coming. So people will say, I'm a hater. I said, no, Nathan Diasha impressed me. That was the best Nathan ever looked at, I think. And I just hope he's gonna, come and compete. It would be a shame not to. My guy from Iran, Behruz Tabani. God, there is some development that hopefully by the end of the week, beginning of next week, hopefully this could happen. And he is a dark horse. Nobody saw him here in the United States. They saw him in Romania. He beat crazy conditioned Brett Wilkin. Best Brett Wilkin never showed up in any show. Behruz beat him, right? And just think about this when they talk about IBB politics, right? That was the last qualifying show. American guy that would be very good for the Olympia and is ready to step on the stage, losing to Iranian guy in Romania that probably would not have a chance to get the visa, and they still give it to the better man. So I get so many of those. It's politics and politics. There's no politics in IBB Pro League. As Dave said, they're judging what is on stage.
Right.
If Egyptian guy can win, Iranian guy can win.
Iranian,
Criticism.
If there were politics involved, we had Rami twice as Mr. Olympia, and have Iranian guy Hadi Chopin right now.
Yeah.
So what politics we're talking about, right?
Yeah. But what I was saying about this, okay, I call them filters. I have my size filter. Size matters, open against 212. Let's then balance. Balance should be balance, and then next shape. This should be high on the hierarchy of here it is. Look at the waist. Look at and
looking good. Yeah.
It would be a shame if you can't.
Can you click on his Instagram front page and see? Okay, and then
I saw that picture.
Okay, look at that. Look at that back shot. Look at this.
Yeah, look at the glutes. Wow, he looks like Hamdullah from behind.
Yeah, Hamdullah Yukutlu. Yeah, so this is what I hope would step on the stage, and he is 121 kilos, whatever that is. 121.
How tall is he, Milos?
I think 5'11".
Wow, he's big.
That's impressive weight. I mean, I was winning Arnold. I was probably 119 kilos.
Wow, so he's bigger than you.
He's bigger than
that's about 270. That's about 270. Yeah, it's 270.
Look at that posing. Okay, now if you click on that posing,
this one.
No, the next posing next to it. Unfortunately, look at his right pec. You see? Yeah. Okay, this is what happened just like 10 days ago. It's not the pec tear, thank God. It's not the bicep tear, but there was obvious bruising. so he had to slow down a little bit. You know, but
Look at the side leg.
Wow.
Wow, that side leg is crazy.
Oh,
I think he's about another year off from really, dominating. I think he's got enough. But his conditioning is insane.
yeah. So this is how we talk. Look at the V taper. Look at that.
look at the shape.
Yeah.
It's
And
impressive.
It's all there, all the
gonna
bells
be-
and whistles.
Is that the footage from Iran?
Yeah,
Okay.
Iran. Yeah, that's and he's the guy. Dave, you've seen that with guys. Some guys can change in 2 weeks. Like that's not even humanly possible. And some people you can put on 0 carbs, and 2 weeks later come exactly the same.
Yeah, you're right.
You're right. I agree.
You know what I mean? So
It's like, why?
Yeah.
You must be cheating because I know that there's no way you didn't lose
Right.
weight.
You know how Melvin Anthony back in the day, he's on the keto diet, and he comes in as heavier and heavier and heavier. Sure. And then Sean Ray goes like, "What do you mean we were in Sizzlers yesterday?" And then they had a hot dogs and all this shit.
There are guys that cheat on their diet, absolutely.
And especially like Melvin would be the guy. After the contest, he says, "Yeah, and I had a chocolate cake too, and I didn't even tell you, and I looked that good." I said, "Melvin, why would you look without that chocolate cake? God damn."
Some people can't control themselves. Some people are.
That's crazy. I mean, you're in prep. That's your life. It's your job.
I always told people that when there's always options. You have a list of options in your brain that goes through your brain. When you feel like you're starving and you feel like you're miserable on the contest diet, there's options. My option list was go for a walk, go watch TV, go clean the house, clean my closet out. Some people's option list includes go to the refrigerator and cheat. Mine never included that.
And
so
see what is in it. And just check what is in it.
It can't be an option on your list. It should never be an option. Never.
I was so sick. I would watch when I was hungry, like 2 weeks out.
The Food Channel.
I would watch Food Channel.
Me too.
What the hell? That's like,
it's like a sadistic thing to do. Yeah,
this is what I want to get. This is what I want to get right after that.
Moment to step on stage.
He's right. I did the same exact thing. It's like a sadistic, like torture.
Yeah. It's extra torture round.
Let's face it. All of us probably cheated here and there without, not planning. It was just like so overwhelming, and you just had to have it. I mean, it happened to me, many times.
Milos, I never did that. Every cheat that I had would be planned. It was a planned.
How you plan? I never planned a cheat. I didn't have it in my.
That's why you had a cheat, because you didn't put it in there. You have to put it into the program.
I tell you,
I had always one cheat day in my prep.
Yeah.
It was Sunday. One whole day. Cheat day.
Oh, that's a lot. You can do a lot of damage in a whole day.
No, but that worked amazing.
Cheat. All day you cheat everything?
Yeah, but there will be breakfast, whatever I like, and then basic meals. I don't like to eat like extra, like something fancy, whatever. So I will eat basic meals with a little bit.
Milos, he probably ate less calories on his cheat day than he did on his regular meal days, because
probably And then I will eat like the second last meal. I will go out, sushi, whatever I wanted, and but sometimes, I was already in good condition 2 weeks out, and it was already midnight, so it was like Monday, right? So
right.
And it was like 10 minutes past midnight, and I opened the fridge, and it's like, fuck, I still had cake from like Russian cake. So it tastes amazing. So and I had an extra bite, and extra bite, and then went to bed. So I thought it doesn't matter, like 10 minutes, half an hour, if I have a bite on extra bite or like the cake. So, but in the morning that was all like diet again. So I could control myself, but Sunday that went sometimes like until early morning.
Most guys could do a lot of damage in the course of one day, Dennis. You were a
Yeah, I
freak.
know,
You
but
got away with it.
if you can do it, if you have that genetics and then you know, metabolism, I mean, you have to do this. So I had to do this because I will be ready in 6 weeks and will be like, you know, weighing 260 kilos and will be dry.
Right. No, you're right. You have to go by your physique and what you.
Sometimes, yes.
I did ask you, Dave, before because you are, true expert, and I always like to listen to. But I had all this debate. Oh, cheat meal, and whatever. If I eat my clean meals, I don't do it, and then I had a cheat. I said, okay, so let's consider what is a cheat, But when they eat, I mean, they cheat like with absolutely the stupidest thing you can possibly.
I always define a cheat meal as a meal. So it's protein, carbs, and some fat. So in other words, you're not just going and getting Dunkin' Donuts and ice cream and you're eating food. You're just eating food that you normally wouldn't eat. Maybe a plate of pasta with a chicken parmesan or something like that. Or I'd go for sushi. Like I'm like Dennis, I love sushi rolls and stuff like that. But there was protein in there,
even a basic meal, but on top of it, that will be my cheat meal, like like a dessert or an ice cream, whatever, But there will be like plain pizza, or without protein. Never did it. Never.
Well, you've seen Krizo giving Dunkin' Donuts to people.
That's it.
Okay. And then many people.
He gives them one donut. He gives them one donut. He doesn't give them the whole thing. I know guys that'll eat the whole dozen donuts if you give it to them.
Oh yeah. But even the one donut, what is that donut going to do?
He's a muffin guy. He likes to give muffins out. It's the sugar, sugar, carbs. Yeah, so give him a little glycogen, load him a little bit, and let him get away with it. But he'll give them more to eat if he feels they're very flat. But I like to schedule a cheat meal unless I know the person can't handle it, and in which case, then I might just tell them, you know what, go have an 8-ounce cheeseburger and a medium fries or something like that, because I know that they're not going to do that much damage with that. Some people you have to tell them what to do because otherwise they just go ballistic and they can do a lot of damage in that one meal.
Okay, here. It's very important. I want to ask you because you're the best. You said medium fries. What is French fry going to do to the body?
Milos, I think when you're eating very clean foods for a long period of time, the grease, the nasty, disgusting fats, all that sodium, and with a little bit of carbs, for some reason, it has this incredible effect on the body. And my belief is because when you eat very clean, where you're eating good clean fats, you're eating good clean protein, I think your body is almost like deprived of something it needs. And when you put that junk in a very small amount, obviously for one meal, it shocks the body. And the body's initial reaction is amp the metabolism through the roof and absorb all this stuff into the muscles. And I think it has a positive effect because I think when you eat a very clean diet all the time, your body gets used to it. And it doesn't work sometimes after a while.
I think it's the trans fats, which are,
I agree. I think the bad fats are good. When you're cheating, the bad fats are actually what you want,
This is what I did. Like, the last couple of years in my career, I will not carb load anymore, right? So I will just deplete and eat a breakfast like a Friday morning, before prejudging at night, Olympia prejudging. I will eat a breakfast, like big breakfast, but with trans fat. It's like butter, all of that, making my eggs in butter, things like that. And I will be full. That's it. And I will keep me safe for the whole day. So, and I figured that out. So, and it really works.
Yeah, because what happens when you get so lean, you lose the intramuscular fat too, which gives the gives the muscle volume too. So when you put all those saturated fats back into your diet, the muscles suck them up, but it doesn't have time to get deposited under the skin. You're not going to get subcutaneous fat deposition, but the muscles will pull those fats in, and you do get more volume, in addition, just from the fats alone.
There's first time that somebody explained it semi-scientifically.
No, because people don't realize there's fat between the muscle fibers, and when you get super lean, you could lose that, and sometimes it's not good to lose that because you get flat. That's why you get these guys. They they compete, they look too flat, even though they ate 1,000 grams of carbs a day. They eat a pizza pie that night. The next morning they wake up and they look amazing. You know, it's the muscle, it's the fat in the muscle sometimes that gets just too depleted. So being too lean is sometimes not necessarily, you know, you have to do something to counteract it. I think what Dennis said he would do, having that fatty breakfast, I think that definitely helped, you know.
You see, I always have a fat meals. Like you have an egg meal, you have a steak meal,
Right.
you have a salmon meal. I mean, and then you have avocado, macadamia nut, all this shit. So for a guy that there's not depleted so much with fats, right?
Right.
It's hard for me to just look. I've seen it happen.
You got to give them shitty fats. You got to give them McDonald's fats. Those are the worst kind of fats.
That's different.
That works for some reason, you know.
All right, guys. So we did this on the last show. We got Dave's bold prediction. I'm going to ask you guys as we conclude. Your biggest surprise for the 2023 Olympian. Now, that could be your winner. It could be a complete shock winner. It could be someone that we're not even considering in the top 10. This is going to place, you know, anywhere between 8 and 10. Dennis Wolf, what's going to be the biggest surprise coming out of the 2023 Olympia?
Oh, I will go with Samson. I think he's going to
Samson winning it.
Yeah, I mean, it's very possible. It's very possible. And also, I mean, Hadi, I like his like granite hard condition and the shape. Yeah, but it's gonna be tough. But I will go with Samson because, hey, he improved so much and he looks nasty. And I think, you know, Milos works with him, and then they're gonna bring good condition to have, you know, so Samson looks perfect, and the package must be like perfect, not like, you know, he should be dry a little bit, you know. But if he comes in perfect package and condition, he'll be the man to talk about and to look for. Definitely.
Milos, the biggest surprise that we're going to see this upcoming Olympia weekend.
So I can't say that it would be surprised if Samson wins. I mean, many of you guys are seeing him possibly winning, right? I am his coach. Look, there is always part of bias. You know, of course, if you're, you know, with somebody, you become a cheerleader of, you know. So, but I'm always realist. I think that Brandon Curry is going to be a huge surprise, and he's going to get there. I see Samson, Brandon, and Hadi battling for this top 3. This is what I see. Brandon, we didn't talk much about him. That's why I do want to mention he was 2 times runner-up and previously winning. He only slipped to the only 4th place, you know, because, yeah, he didn't bring that condition. He had a full year. He's probably debating if he's going to retire soon. And so I'm sure that he put everything into this preparation. And even though you can't judge about this whatever stairs where he is, there.
The magic doorway. No longer the magic doorway.
Yeah, just like oxygen gym mirror, and this is like sound.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's hard to deny. Leg from the side has always been, you know, tremendous. Side shots, look at this. It's very hard to beat. He's super competitive. If he looked anything like this, I don't think that Derek would overtake him last year. Look at that front.
Yeah, he's got great front lat spread. Yeah.
I mean, so compare this to Derek. Derek doesn't have a, you know, shoulders, chest, arms in that pose to match. Yeah.
If he can keep the volume in his legs like they look now in this video, he'd be very dangerous. You know. Super
dangerous. And I think, you know what I mean? If you're his coach. So, okay, this is good enough. Let's not go further. I mean, was he really that much more conditioned before than write this video?
No.
You know, drop in a little bit water and that's it. Keep the separation of the quads. What I've seen last year for prejudging, he lost completely separation of the quads. Probably trying to be that too big and going against Big Ramy. Keep in mind.
Yes.
He was not going against the other guys.
Yes.
He was going against, he won the show, and then 2 years he played second to the Big Ramy, big legs.
Yep.
So that's what he needed to bring. Now he knows the only big guys he had to worry is Samson. And Samson and Brandon have such a similar physique. And I think that they're going to be called out next to each other this time. Last time they didn't. So my biggest surprise would be climb up of Brandon. How high he gonna climb up? I don't know.
All right, there you have it. So we've now asked between Dave, King Kamali, Armin Adibi, Dennis, and Milos. Let me count. 3 out of the 5 rather have Samson Dauda winning the Olympia. So what do you think? Comment below. Is Samson Dauda going to be the 2023 Mr. Olympia? How high will Brandon Curry finish? How high will Nick Walker finish? Or is it going to be Derek Lunsford? Or is it going to be Hadi Chupon rather, repeating in his first title defense? That's going to do for this episode of Iron Debate. Special thanks, Milos Sarcev, Dennis Wolf, both legends, absolutely bringing it on this show. Dave, I know this is one that we've been looking forward to for quite some time now. And I mean, holy crap, couldn't have gone any better.
Agreed.
So this upcoming week, we are going to have more preview segments. We're going to have some more surprise guests or some surprise guests who are going to give their analysis on the upcoming Olympia. Obviously, later in the week, we're going to record Dave's final predictions. Lee Priest is going to be chiming in as well. John Romano. So the whole panel, you're going to get the full RXMuscle experience over the course of the next week and a half leading into the Olympia. And then, of course, at the Olympia, Dave Palumbo is going to be there for the first time since 2018. So we're going to have a lot of excitement, a lot of exciting things planned for you throughout the course Olympia weekend. If you haven't already done so, subscribe below. Hit the notification bell so you're not going to miss anything that we have planned over the course of the next 15 days. And then, of course, all throughout Olympia weekend. For Dennis Wolf, Milos Sarcev, and Dave Palumbo, I'm Sadiq Faruqi. Thank you for watching.